Okay, we're going to get into drawing here. Okay, one of the things about this is that, like I said, it's actually very similar to like SolidWorks or Solid Edge and how it works. And there's some differences, but there are a lot of similarities. Okay, now, like I said, we're in part mode, so you got to go to the sketch thing that's in green here. Now, if you just draw like a circle, you can see how the cursor is yellow, but I can type like 5 inches if I wanted to, you know. Well, that's a little large, but just hit the undo key and let's make this like 1 inch. Okay, now hit escape to get out of any of these commands you want to get out of, otherwise they're persistent. Now if you go grab the center of the circle, and these are a little small, I wonder if I can change because I didn't even notice these things at first, but the center, has a constraint option, but you can go ahead and move it. But if you create a circle and start from the center, and you notice that it kind of, tends to, kind of align with the axes to some extent. See, it's like sticky a little bit. But if you start from the center, let's say make it 1.5 inches, you'll notice that the center point is green here, so you can't grab it. It's a like I said, when it's a green point, that highlights, it's permanently constrained. Which I don't quite understand this, but this one's red. It's supposed to be yellow, but like it is on this other guy's video. But at any rate, if you go draw like lines, for example, and if you notice, you can see the little dotted lines. Again, it's hard to see in this interface. I mean, I wonder if there's some kind of adjustments I can make. But you can see the little constraint line that's applying a relationship. But anyway, if I draw a line like this and then draw it like this, you can see the little perpendicular thing pop up. But you can also, I assume, tab between. There's like an AutoCAD tab between the inches. So make this 0.5. Okay, then it keeps that constraint, and then you can see that has a parallel constraint, on that window there. So I can make this parallel if I want to. And I can come out perpendicular. You can see the little perpendicular thing pop up there over to the right of the line that I'm drawing, and then I can come down here. You can see the little dotted line infer there. So I can pop it over there. Now that since I highlighted green, that's a permanent constraint. So, but now if I wanted to go, move one of these lines, it keeps the constraints. Since I specified that's ½ inch, it's always going to remain ½ inch. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of how this works. Now, like I said, since I, actually typed, those dimensions, that's why those constraints are fixed. I assume that, I can go delete a dimension, and now it's not constrained anymore. But of course, I can, come and draw, dimensions if I want, and put a constraint on it, like, 1 inch, for example, and that kind of screwed this up, but let me escape out of this. But then if I wanted to come and put my dimension back here, I'm not quite sure how this works, but I guess if you just click on it, it does. But then I can go edit it back to 0.5 inches. Okay, and the constraints are maintained, but oops. I guess the tab doesn't produce I just wanted to see if we could chain select like Revit did. But anyway, you know, you can grab them all, you know, and I assume that you can grab them with the, you know, various selection tools to move them, because the object itself, well, I don't know. It didn't allow me to move it. Maybe it's because it's got dimensions attached to it. Yeah, that's probably it. I'll deselect them. Hit Control click to deselect it. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's not constrained. You know, it's just an independent object there. Now, if you look at the status bar, you know, it can tell you that 7 dimensions are needed to fully constrain the sketch. Although, in practice, I don't know if it's a good idea to over-constrain your sketch. You know, if you do, it can't move. But I guess this is, you know, to provide minimal constraints. I'm not sure. For predictable behavior, to make it fully parametric. Now, when an object is blue, like this circle, it says that it's adequately constrained. You know, but these aren't constrained because they're kind of floating apart from each other. And just like in the SolidWorks, you know, normally you do a different sketch for different parts, but you know that has to be done in an assembly, unless they're part of the same part. But you know, I'm sure you can have multiple sketches. Okay, but okay, so if you wanted to, you know, try to constrain your drawing appropriately, you know, you could push on this, okay, and go apply it, and that'll actually apply all the needed constraining dimensions. So now it's fully constrained. So if you wanted to, you know, do that, you know, you got that option. And you can also remove them too. But like I said, just like in the other program, it doesn't matter if the sketch is fully constrained or not. You can still, you know, work with it. So extrude it out like 1.5 inches. And you know, notice my sketch disappeared. I had to go open up the extrusion command again. But I don't know if I can, you know, I don't know if I can select them now. You know, now that it's already got an extrusion constraint. But if you wanted, you know, damn it, if you wanted to edit a sketch, you know, you can go into its mode, and I'm going to try to copy and create a sketch somewhere else, and I'll just leave that. I don't know if I can create a new sketch or not. Let's try to hit the sketch button and see what it does. Oh, that's stitch. Well, shit. Let's hit create sketch. Select the plane to create the sketch on. Okay, well, it's assembly 1 here. Now let me see if I can, yeah, good. Yeah, so you can copy and paste geometry from one drawing to another. So now this, you can see, is still not appropriately constrained. You know, it's going to be constrained based upon the center. Now I don't know if I can actually, yeah, good, I can draw, so make this like 2 inches, okay. So, you know, we just need 4 dimensions, you know, to constrain it, including this, you know, which I'll leave those intact. 3 dimensions needed, and again, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the automatic option that I used before, you know, to apply the remaining constraints. Okay, now done with that, and you know, I go in and extrude that out. hit minus 2 inch. No, it doesn't let me enter minus. Let me see if it direction 1, direction 2. Okay, now I can hit 2 inch. Alright, and then we've got that part, and it's adequately constrained with this part, so anytime I were to move this part, that would move with it because it's fully constrained to it. So that does it for the basic sketching tools, but I'm going to cover some other sketching in the next video.